The Delta state government in Nigeria has started demolishing illegal properties in Asaba and other parts of the state. And this singular action by the government has caused so many issues, and people are shouting and crying. Before we discuss about demolition in Delta State, let us quickly watch this video.
This is my house. This is my house. I've spent over 100 million plus. Not even this land alone. Not even this place alone. I have lands here.
And now the government
just came to demolish it. This house is, I started this house November, look at this house.
Now we are seeing
I did not stop. And fact, my man did not even have one sympathy. Even call the government, you come and call the house to the people who own the house. Now, the school who are fighting for this, will they build something like this? I asked everybody who is here, would they build something like this?
No.
But that means they cannot come to a conclusion and say, young man, please, school or government want to use this. Let us even use it for all the individuals. When way they work like this, you are working under the sun. Is your house not beautiful at this place? Let me tell with ourselves. If the government can come together and say, yes, we are working under the sun, how much have you paid? How much will you pay? Or get every kind of queer. Joy or Roger Bader, they're going to queer. I don't want
that video you saw was one of the victims whose property is to be demolished, and we heard him crying that he has spent over 100 million naira buying and developing that particular property. And if you would hear him, he said the government has come to take over the property. But the question is the property a committed one or not? Is the property a committed one or not? Now, it is very easy for us to empathize with situations like this and with victims like this. But sometimes it is good to do the right thing and ask the right question. Like, is the property a committed one or not? Is the property free from government acquisition? Or does the government already have plans for the property? From everything gathered, the government has come to say that people are building on a government-owned land, and these lands have been designated for the use of some tertiary institution in the state. So people are building blindly on a property owned by an institution, a university. That is the government stance, and that is the reason for the demolition. But these are victims crying out that government is taking their lands. Now, who is telling the truth and who is lying? The government or the victims? From the information gathered, it is true that these people are building on a government land, on a committed property. Now, this raises the question, or this begs the question, can't the government look for ways to mitigate the effects of this demolition? Can't the government just allow them continue, since they spent so much in building the project? And this would be the thinking of every of these victims. But the truth is, what is right, and what is wrong is wrong. Ignorance is no defense in law. So many of these victims, they are like, we are not aware this is a government property. It was sold to us. But ignorance is not a defense in law. And now, when it comes to real estate, governments of different states are taking this seriously. They are picking keen interest in the real estate industry and sector in their various states, because they understand that lands are becoming valuable. And just like what we are experiencing in Lagos State, the series of demolition, the same wave is spreading to other states, because people are seeing reasons to invest in their home states and also develop properties in those places. The people have not learned from the saga in Lagos. People have not learned from the series of demolition in Lagos. And this is a pointer to the fact that the Lagos state government have not demolished arbitrarily. If this same thing would happen in other states, it simply means that what the Lagos state government have been doing has not been totally wrong. Because going back to some of all these states, Delta, Enugu, Anambra, Imo, series of demolition has occurred in these places. Even in Edo State, the governor has demolished some of these properties, saying they are being built on government lands. You can easily come to the conclusion that people have not learned. They've not learned that you don't buy real estate anyhow. You don't buy real estate because you have the money to buy. You buy real estate because the lands are safe and they are secured and they meet your need, the need to buy that particular development. People have forgotten that the Land Use Act is a law that governs the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So what is applicable in Delta State is applicable in Lagos State. The Land Use Act places the ownership of land in urban settlement in the hands of the state government. The implication of that act is that there are lands that belong to the government and there are lands that are free. Lands that belong to the government can only be used for public use and at the discretion of the government at any time to either develop or not to develop. So the fact that a land has been left fallow for numbers of years does not mean that government does not have plans for that development. And you should understand that the way the machinery of governance work in Nigeria is that governments are reactive. Government institutions are reactive and not proactive. So you can buy land without the government knowing you bought this land. You can start building without the government knowing that you started building on the land. Government will only react when there's a need for them to use the land. So you can even build and live there for 20 years. And when the government is ready, they will come to take the land. And now this is a pointer to the fact that it does not only happen in Lagos State. You can buy wrongly anywhere in Nigeria if you don't conduct due diligence. So this is Delta State Nigeria. You can get that man crying and lamenting. People have been crying and they've been lamenting. Now, it is easy for us to say, to sympathize or empathize with them. It is so easy. But will the government listen to them? The government will not listen to them because laws are laws. So this is what we've always talked about. Before you buy real estate, before you buy land anywhere, even in the remotest of villages, even in the remotest of villages, before you buy land, or before you buy properties, conduct due diligence. Be it in a village, conduct due diligence. You see, these villages are the places that will turn to cities tomorrow. And the government might not show interest in those places right now, but in the future, they will show interest. So, I've seen series of videos of people advising people to come and buy village lands, buy lands in villages in Ibadan, in Oyo, in Asaba, in Ogun State, in Abeokuta. Now, it is nice to buy land. It is very, very good. Investing in real estate is one sure way of accumulating wealth. It is a transgenerational source of wealth. But investing blindly could be the reason for your financial downfall. If you invest blindly, see those people that are saying come and buy without you going to see the property or without you taking your surveyor to the land. Those ones, their dealings are shady. You should be very, very careful. I've seen series of videos on in fact, online of people saying, come and buy property. I can help you buy property. I'm in Nigeria, I can help you buy property. I don't need your family to come around. I don't need this to come around. You don't need to come with a surveyor. After I've gotten the property for you, you can now come and fence it for you. You can now come and take ownership. You see, they might be very, very true and very, very open and very, but it is your money. You don't gamble on your money. Undertake due diligence. You don't buy property. You don't just buy a property because it is a nice place and you like the place. You don't buy property that way. You can see a property in a nice place, but it's a completed property, it's a government property. And when you end up buying without due diligence, you will start crying that people are taking your land from you. So one has to be very careful. We have to be very careful about buying real estate in remote places. You must undertake due diligence. You must carry out search on the property to understand and to be sure that it is free from government acquisition. So be it Delta, be it Edo, be it Lagos, be it Ogun, always conduct due diligence. I remain Patrick, your Lagos Realtor. For more questions and for clarifications, investing in real estate in Nigeria, different cities in Nigeria, you can always ask questions and I'll be here to put you through. My number is on the screen. The link to my WhatsApp is in the description below. Chat me up and we'll be glad you did. For those who want recommendation on safe real estate to buy in different parts of Nigeria, in Ibadan, in Abeokuta in Ogun State, in Lagos, Nigeria, in Delta State, in Asaba, in Oyo State, in Abuja, my number is on the screen and I'll give you the recommendation and advise you on the kind of real estate you should buy. Until we see again, stay safe, keep investing in real estate.